Hi, welcome to yoga. I'm Joanne. Thanks for coming out to practice today. We're going to start over a roll. So grab your blanket or towel and make a nice, comfortable small roll for under your shoulders. So you want it to be not too big, not too small. You're going to open the chest with it. So I've made my roll pretty small, like this, so about that big. And I'm pretty flexible, so smaller is fine. We're going to lay over this, so you should be comfortable and it shouldn't be painful. So we're going to breathe over the roll. And then we want the roll to line at the bottom. The top will come to the bottom of our shoulder blade. For women, it's pretty much where your bra strap is, maybe a touch higher. So we want the top of the roll there, so that the shoulder blade just comes to the floor over your roll, or close to the floor. So we're opening through the chest. And then options for the legs are wide, mat width apart, knees together, feet on the floor, or feet parallel, or legs extended, whatever's most comfortable for you. And again, this should be comfortable to lay over for a few minutes. So the other thing to keep in mind when you're laying over your roll is you want your neck to be neutral. So you don't want your chin lifted and the back of the neck shortened. So make sure that that is in good alignment, and you can always use a blanket or a prop, a thin book, or something under your head to achieve that. And then once you get settled, we'll lay over the roll we talked about. You can let the arms kind of splay out to the sides, palms up. You might shift around a little bit, just get yourself comfortable. Maybe rock the head a little side to side and bring the head to center. And then once you're comfortable over your roll, we'll let the eyes gently close. And let your lips part so your jaw is relaxed. And just sink into this sensation. Let gravity just drop you into the floor. And then bringing awareness to the breath. And as always in yoga, we start the breath in the lower abdomen. So we expand our belly. Feel the breath move out to the side body, expanding your rib cage. And then finally, the breath comes up over this roll into the chest, all the way to the tops of your lungs, which come just below your collarbone. So we want to really use the full body to breathe. So this is great if you work at a desk or a computer, to get a nice passive chest opener. And again, it should be comfortable. So if you're starting to feel it all antsy or like it's too big of a stretch, then make your roll a little bit smaller. I think we get overly ambitious sometimes. So you're going to get a lot of benefit just from a small opening here. So make sure it's comfortable. Again, let the eyes close. Bring the awareness to the breath as it moves like a wave up and down the body over the roll. And as you're doing that, you might take this time at the beginning of our practice to set an intention or maybe a dedication for your practice. Whatever feels good for you today. Choosing just one thing to focus on. And then repeating that to yourself 3 times is a great way to anchor that into your subconscious mind for the rest of the practice. You can also use that as a touchstone during the practice. If you get distracted or tired, come back to your intention or dedication. So we'll take a few more moments here, breathing over the roll. Do just a few more breath cycles. And it's nice to pay attention here too, to notice the rhythm of the breath. If there's any rough edges to your breath, see if you can soften them. And noticing if there's anywhere it might feel a little tight or stuck. And just try to soften around that space. So soften any rough edges of your breath. Now let's take 1 or 2 more breath cycles. And then nice and slowly, bending your knees if the feet aren't on the floor already, just to kind of lift the hips, and you might be able to move the roll. I'm going to roll to my right side. Just to come up off the roll, you're just going to remove it. Place it off to the side, then come to your back again. And then bring your feet to the same position, whatever you were doing. Just lay on the back here, and I want you just to come to a neutral position. Make sure the neck is neutral. And take a nice deep breath here and just see how that feels. Hopefully it should feel even more expansive and spacious. We did that nice chest opener. Gave ourselves a little more room to breathe. Let's take 1 more breath. Great, and then we're going to go ahead and bend the knees. Place your feet on the floor. And then draw your knees into your chest and give them a little squeeze in. Just stretching a little bit through the lower back here. Squeeze the knees in, and then gently rock a little side to side. So just a small movement here to start. You can kind of use the core here as well to squeeze the legs in a little more. So squeeze the abdomen a little bit to find a little more engagement there. Rock gently side to side. And then we're going to make our movement a little bit bigger. And then you might watch before you do this, if you've never done this with me before, because it's always hard to articulate. So we're going to roll all the way onto one side. So notice I'm rolling onto my side. And then I'm going to look, roll onto my forehead and look behind me to release my neck. So it's a bit counterintuitive. And if this hurts your neck in any way, then don't do it. Just rock side to side. So again, rolling all the way onto the side and then onto my forehead to look behind me. So moving with your breath at a pace that's comfortable, just nice and easy and gentle. Again, if it's painful, don't do it. And it's kind of a nice way to release the neck, a little different, side to side. Okay, then we're gonna add now, so as you roll side to side now, we're gonna draw one leg and let the other leg drag, so you're not keeping the legs together now. Just to open in the inner thigh a little bit, so you're letting the opposite leg drag and then drop. So you're leading the first leg, the other leg is trailing behind. And you're going just a little bit, one more time, side to side. Great, and then we'll come back to center. And now, whoops, I've slid up on my mat. I'm gonna come down. Good. So now you're gonna take your hands behind your thighs. And again, if this is uncomfortable for your spine in any way, then don't do it. Or if it's real clunky or choppy, you might skip this. But if you would like to try, we're gonna just rock and roll on the spine a little bit. Again, if you have any herniations or pain when you do this, then don't do it. So you're gonna kind of bring the legs up toward the sky and then rock forward. So start small, rounding the spine. Be gentle with the neck. So if you're coming back, just make sure you're not causing any discomfort. Kind of massaging our spine. And of course, don't look to the side when you do this as you roll back. Let's do one more. We'll come all the way up to a seat. And now grab your blanket. We're going to come to a seated posture. Do a little more for the neck and shoulders. So make a cushion that you can sit up on so you can elevate your hips a little bit. And hopefully the breath will also feel a little more easy here since we opened our chest. Over that roll should feel nice and open here. So sitting comfortably, let's shrug the shoulders up by the ears and down the back. Open your chest. And then resting the hands on the thighs, tag a little weight into the elbows. Retract your chin slightly so your head is directly above the spine. Take a deep breath in through your nose. As you exhale, drop the chin to the chest. Nothing else moves, just the head comes forward. And just take a moment here, check in with your intention or dedication. And take another moment to find a little gratitude for practicing today. Gratitude for our body and all it does for us every day. We take for granted sometimes, so a little gratitude there. And then as you're ready, we'll begin to gently rock an ear toward the shoulder. And again, you can start small, no rush here. Gently side to side. Keep the breath moving nice and deep. So many channels and meridians that go through the neck and shoulders. So such an important area to open up, especially again if you're working at a desk. So inhaling and exhaling. And again, see if there are any rough edges, any pitching or any catching, and see if we can soften around it. So letting go of tension, using your breath as a tool in our practice to really let go of anything that's sort of giving us a little pause or tension. See if you can Just soften it with the breath. Releasing on your exhale, moving side to side. Great, and then getting to that first side again. Inhale as you open. Come up nice and tall. Drop both shoulders. And I want you to extend the side of the open side of your neck. Extend that arm out toward the floor. Lift your chest, open up. And then we're rotating the head. So exhale, look down over your other shoulder. Inhale, look up to the opposite ceiling toward the extended arm side. So we're really focusing on this side of the neck. And you can play with the angle, keep the breath moving. And again, see if there's any rough edges you can smooth out with the breath. If anything's uncomfortable, don't do it. Take one more breath up and down. Drop the chin to the chest, bring that arm in. We'll take the ear to the other shoulder, lift up, soften both shoulders, extend the other arm out now. Reaching to the floor or block. Lifting through the sternum so we're still nice and tall in our spine. Just our head is tilted to the side and then begin to breathe and slowly rotate the neck. Good. I feel like this helps us elongate the neck muscles, releasing the shoulder. Bringing lots of fresh oxygen and blood to the tissues that get a little tight around the neck area. Make sure your jaw is relaxed too as you do this. You can part your lips a little bit. You hold tension in the jaw. And let's do one more breath here. Great. Bring the head to center, bring that arm in, drop the chin to the chest, and then just take your head upright. Open up here. Let's bring the shoulders, shrug them up, hit a big circle and down the back. Open the chest, rest the hands gently on the legs. Retract your chin just slightly. Take a breath here and just see how you feel. Excellent. Let's do one more thing here while we're seated. We're going to inhale, stretch one arm up. Reach up nice and tall. Walk the other hand out and fold, getting into our side a little bit. And I want you to keep the chest nice and open toward the sky here. So elbow points up, arm is relaxed. This bottom arm, your shoulder is relaxed as well. Good, and then we're gonna spill forward. So you're gonna bring that elbow that's facing the ceiling toward the screen and toward the front and sweep out across. Lift up to the other side. And again, make sure everything's soft here. Take a moment here to lift and open the chest. Find your breath. Good, and then we'll move a little bit. So nice and sweeping out in front, lift up, open the chest. So this should feel great. You can even go back a little bit if you want. Reach, breathe. So you can even open the chest a little further, getting into the pecs. Exhaling, inhale, open. Good, exhale, release. Keeping your hips nice and grounded. Good, let's do one more side to side. Good, and reach out in front of you, stretch out here, relax your head to the floor, pull your spine back and up as you drag your hands in front of you. A little resistance here. Squeeze the shoulders up and down the back, open your chest. Great, let's come into a tabletop position on hands and knees. So I'm gonna use a cushion for my knees and come to all fours. So we want to make sure that the hands are under the shoulders and the knees are under the hips. So you're nice and stable. Open the inside of your elbow toward the front part of your mat and look down in front of you. Good, and then let's do some cat-cows. So nice and easy here. Again, use your breath. Inside of the elbows forward, and we micro bend the elbow joint so it's not hyperextended or locked. And then I also want you to practice, if you're new, it's difficult sometimes, but we really want to engage our fingers into the floor so we're not pressing and dumping everything in all the weight into the wrist at the base of the hand. So use the fingers here too. And then also, same token, use the toes a little bit. So we're creating a nice lift away from the mat. That's easy on our joints. So let's inhale, drop the belly, send the tail and crown away. Opposite corners of the room. Exhale, round. Pressing up. Good. Inhale, open. Grow long. Exhale, round. Dropping the head and tailbone. Inhale, lift. And exhale, round. Good. A couple more. Using your breath to guide your movements. Nice and smooth with the breath and the movement. Okay, come back to a neutral spine. And then we're going to get into the side body a little bit, some lateral flexion. So you're going to just lean forward and then you're going to kind of round into the side. So kind of make a C shape and you're pushing the hip and shoulder to one side. You're going to push back over your hips. And as you come up on the other side, round through that side as well. So nice lateral flexion. Be careful not to dump into your lower back here. So you want to keep your core a little bit active, but this is kind of a nice place to close your eyes and just sort of feel into the movement. So we're moving through all the big joints, shoulders and hips, and the ribs, side body. So this should be comfortable and it should feel good. You don't want to have any pinching in the lower back. If you feel like you're doing that, tuck your tailbone just a little bit. Engage your core. Let's go in the opposite direction a few times, circling around, nice and smooth with the breath. Good. Go one more time. Excellent. Come back to all fours. And then take your knees out a little bit wide and then sit back over your heels if you can. You can place a blanket behind your knees if you need. And then just kind of push the mat so you're pushing your hips back as best you can. This might not work for you, that's okay. And then relax the forehead toward the floor. So from here, we're going to thread the needle. So you're going to bring one arm under the extended arm. You're going to thread the needle and come all the way down to the head and the cheek. And then I want you to be comfortable. So you might stay here. If you want a little more, you can take that extended arm behind the back for a deeper twist, only if that's comfortable. And I want you to take a couple deep breaths here into the shoulder. So just kind of melting into this stretch. Should feel good. Using our breath again to expand, and the breath should actually help open that up too. So we're using the breath to help stretch us. Do one more breath here. Great. Unwind if you're twisted. We'll come all the way back with both arms extended and push into the hips a little bit. And then thread the other arm underneath, releasing all the way to the cheek. Option is to bring that extended arm around for a deeper twist if you'd like. And then we'll take a few breaths here, melting into that shoulder. Good, one more breath here. Great, unwind yourself nice and slow. Let's pull ourselves back up to all fours. Good, and then from here, we're gonna walk our knees behind our hip points just a touch. You might need to take your hands a little bit wider, but under the shoulders is a good guide. And then we're gonna bend at the elbow and plant our chest right between our hands, coming down to awkward S pose. Engage your core as you lower. Elbows are close to my body. My hips are lifted. And then let the legs come down. Tops of the feet are on the floor. Good. And then you're going to use your hands just to draw them toward the back of the mat to open the chest. So pulling forward, elbows are close, lift. For low cobra, my feet are glued and my tailbone is slightly tucked. And I'm looking out in front of me. So I'm not looking up and wrenching my neck. My neck is long, shoulders are back. Breathe into the belly. Using a little pull to draw the heart forward. Let's take one more breath. Good, release the chest and chin. You're gonna tuck your toes and you're gonna come into that awkward S pose again. So from here, my chin is down, elbows closed, tuck my toes. I'm gonna inch my knees up and lift my hips. Same position, take a deep breath here. Use your exhale to power back up. Great. So my knees are still behind my hips a little bit. My toes are tucked. Breathe in. As you're ready, exhale, peel up to a downward dog. Slowly send your hips up and back and pedal your feet. Walk your dog out. Keep the breath moving, just getting into our hamstrings for the first time, so you might be a little tight in the calves or hamstrings. And let's slowly walk ourselves to the front of the mat. So take a nice easy stroll, coming into a forward fold here. You might measure 2 fists between your feet and then bend your knees as much as you need so the hands can reach the floor next to your feet, tuck the forehead to the shins. Home base here for the hands and feet. Deep breath in and out. I've got my torso glued to my thighs here. Good, and now I'm gonna let my arms relax and hang my shoulders. I'm gonna shake my head a little yes and no, just let go of any tension. Take a breath here. And as you're ready, slowly tuck your tailbone and roll yourself up one vertebra at a time. All the way to the top of the mat. Shrug your shoulders at the top to open the chest and find a nice neutral pelvis here. So my hip points are even, they're not down or tucked. Nice and tall, heavy suitcases in the hands. Good. From here, let's take the arms behind us and lift. Nice firm footing. Firm but soft. And then exhale, soften and swan dive. Bend your knees, fold over the legs, forward bend. Back down. On your inhale, walk your hands up to your thighs and move your back flat to the floor, so parallel to the floor. Flat back, I pull my elbows back a little bit so I can find that nice long spine. Exhale, fold again. We're gonna plant our hands, and then we're gonna take a giant step back with one leg. I'm starting with my right leg. I'm gonna drop my back knee and uncurl the toes. So from here, we want to make sure the front knee is aligned above the front heel. The back knee is a variable. We're going to come up here. And then we're going to keep our pelvis neutral. Add the arms. Keep the shoulders relaxed as you extend through the fingertips here. My feet are pulling toward the midline to give myself lift. And I'm getting a nice stretch here. Take a deep breath in. Relax, soften. Let's breathe in here. Good, and then almost lost my balance, close my eyes there for a second. And then rainbow the arms to the front knee side. So reach over, take a deep breath here, keep lifting. Good. Inhale, take it back up. The center, exhale, float the hands down. We're going to frame this foot. Now we're going to walk our hips back, but keep your front foot on the ground. I usually have you lift it. We're going to keep it grounded. So you feel that in this hamstring a bit. And then if you bring the foot up, you'll feel it even more, but let's bring the foot down. We're going to play with something here. We're going to walk forward. You can bring your hands in front of the foot a little bit and sink into this back hip flexor now. So I'm really letting myself sink. And then inhale, come back. You might lift the toe, you might not. You could do either. Walk forward. Sink a little bit here. And then come back. Make sure your knee is nice and stable. So what I mean by that is you don't want to it turning out to the side. You should be okay since we're pretty low here. Let's go one more time. Come back. You can keep the foot down or lift. I want you to give yourself space in the chest. Stretching this and then come forward again one more time. Sink a little bit down here so you're getting a deeper stretch there. Keep breathing. Good. And then come back to the home base for the hands next to the foot, so my knee is above my heel. I'm going to tuck the back toes, lift the knee. Take your hips up and we'll step back to downward dog together. From your downward dog, take a breath, and then we're going to float into plank position. So I want you to gather the muscles around the bones, bring the shoulders over the wrists, little energy through the heels. My hips are in line with my shoulders. Take a breath. Exhale, drop the knees, the chest, and the chin. Slide into your cobra as you open the chest, roll the shoulders back. Move the feet. Good, releasing down. Tuck your toes. Again, inch your knees up. Take a breath. Exhale, press back up. Good. Breathe in, toes are still tucked. We're gonna come back to downward dog. Great, from here, you can bend your knees and you can either walk, step, or hop up. However you move, be very mindful and light on your feet. I'm gonna do a step. You can come up however you like. We'll meet in our forward bend. And then slowly roll up, inhaling. As you unfurl to the top of the mat, back to your mountain pose, open your chest. Great, inhale, lift, send the arms up and back. Swan dive, soften your knees, fold forward. On your inhale, come into that flat back pose. Exhale, fold again. Great, giant step back with the second side. On my left side now, if you're following with me, dropping the back knee up, curl the toes. And again, make sure your alignment's good. Scissor the legs, kind of dragging the feet toward center as you lift. Nice and neutral in the pelvis, adding the arms, shoulders are soft. Deep breath. Inhale. As you're ready, rainbow the arms to the front knee side. Reach up and out. Keeping that chest open, take a deep breath here. Inhale, come back up to center. Good, exhale, float the hands down to frame the foot. And then we'll do the same thing again. You can keep the foot flat, pull the hips back, keep the chest nice and open, or you can lift the foot. Walk it forward, a little bit in front with the hands now and sink into that back knee, back leg a little bit deeper. So moving back and forth, and you can let your breath inform your movement. Again, should feel good. Getting into that psoas muscle a little bit more and our hamstring. Do one more. Great. Bring your hands back to home base. Tuck your back toes, lift the knee. Send your hips up and we'll step it back again to a downward dog. And then collect your muscles and your breath. Inhale, float into plank. Taking a breath here. Exhale, drop the knees, the chest and the chin. Slide into your cobra. Long neck. Breathe into your belly. Nice and smooth. Good, relax the chest and the chin. Tuck your toes. Inch your knees up. Deep breath in. Exhale, press up. Good, continue to downward dog. And then when you're ready, make your way back to the front of the mat. If you stepped up, use the opposite leg this time, so you're getting both sides. Or if you walked, take your time, being nice and light on the feet as you move back to your forward bend. Hold here, maybe the legs are starting to open a little more. Check it out. Let's roll it up, inhale. All the way back up, shrug your shoulders to open your chest. Excellent. Good, let's come from our mountain pose, nice and even. Fan the hands forward, reach the arms back as you inhale and lift. Exhale, we'll swan dive, forward fold. Inhale halfway, and exhale, bow. We're gonna plant the hands again, take a giant step back with the right leg, or whichever side you want. Make sure you'll be doing both sides. I'm gonna move my blanket out of the way, and I'm gonna step my back foot up and plant it down on an angle toward the front corner of my mat and lift up, warrior one stance. So I'm gonna check my alignment of my feet. You can take it broader, train tracks, or heel to arch, or heel to heel. Notice both feet are flat. And then I'm turning my hips toward the front. Tuck your tailbone a little bit. Might feel that stretch here again. Good, and then we're gonna inhale, take the arms up. And then float the arms halfway down to a T position. Good, from here, you're gonna take and swing the right arm under the left. Eagle arms, bring your torso upright again. So that same leg that's back is the arm that's under. And then I'm gonna lift my torso up. So I'm still nice and tall. Tuck your tailbone here. Back leg is nice and straight. And then if you can't take eagle arms fully, you can grab your shoulders, or you can have your hands back to back or palm to palm. So I should turn to face you so you can see that, the difference. You can be here, here, or here. So torso is nice and tall. And then from here with our feet nice and firmly rooted, we're gonna inhale, lift the elbows up a little bit as you gaze toward the sky, gentle back bend. Breathe in, exhale, round, elbows toward the stomach, and come forward. Good, and again, you can do this holding the shoulders, inhale up, exhale lower. So be mindful and smooth with our movements one more time. Exhale. Around, inhale, let's come back up. And then just take the elbows up a little higher. Good, release them back to center. Release the arms wherever you are, and then swing them up. Warrior one stance with regular arms this time. Soften the soften the shoulders. So the breath. And then on your exhale, we're going to straighten the front leg and open the arms out to the side. So now I'm facing the side of the mat. My feet stayed the same. Extend the arms out. Good. And then I'm going to bump my hips to the back of the mat. So my front foot, I'm reaching that to the front. And I'm sending my hips back, and then I'm gonna reach, reach, reach for triangle pose. Bring that bottom arm toward the leg, top arm to the sky. If you are comfortable, you don't have to reach the floor. In fact, you want to stay nice and open in the chest and the rib side. You don't want to lean on that leg. So nice and open here. Both feet are firmly rooted. You can look down, you can look to the screen or to the sky. Keep your neck supported. Lots going on in the side body here. Take one more breath. So we're really supporting this pose with our oblique muscles and our torso. Great. On your next inhale, you're going to ground your feet and use your torso to lift yourself back upright. Great. Lower the arms. Turn the hips to the front again. Bend that front knee, and then just float the hands down to frame the foot. Slide your back foot back, hips rise, and we'll step back to a downward dog. Great. From here, we're going to float into plank one more time. Drop the knees, the chest, the chin. Slide into your cobra. Open the chest. Move the feet. Good. Release the chin and chest. We'll tuck the toes, and we're just going to come up straight back to downward dog, or you can come through tabletop and send it back. Again, your choice, making your way to the front of the mat, mindfully and smoothly, using the breath, fold it forward bend when you get there. Relax the arms, roll yourself up slowly. Chin tucks. Open the chest. Mountain pose. Good, let's take the other side. Inhale, lift. And exhale, fold. Swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold again. Good. This time I'm taking my left leg back. Switching sides. So then step that foot up, plant it on an angle, and lift into your warrior one stance. Once you get up, if you're not quite in a comfortable stance, you can always adjust. Again, squaring the hips toward the front so that back foot's angled forward. Great. And then inhale, lift. The arms come up, soften the shoulders. Exhale, take the arms halfway down to a T. And again, same arm as the back leg is going to come under to your eagle arm position, and then bring your torso upright. Once you find that comfortable position, see if you can find a gentle tuck in your tailbone. Good, and then from here, when you're ready, inhale, elbows rise. You might look up, gentle back bend. Exhale, round. Slowly. So really take your time with this. You want to be nice and firm in your footing. Inhale, lift. Giving a nice deep stretch in that shoulder. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. And exhale, round. Excellent. One more time, we'll come up. So pausing here, and then maybe lift the elbows one more time. Really come back to neutral. Unwind the arms. Nice little hop, snap, crackle, pop. Lift the arms up. Soften the shoulders. Deep breath. Take that breath in. And then slowly exhale as you open the arms, straighten the front leg, and open out to the side of the arms. So again, let me turn around so my back isn't to you. Check your footing. So the foot that's facing the front, you're going to take the hips to the back of the mat. You're going to breathe in, grow tall, and reach, reach, reach So you can't reach anymore, and then just tip the hand to the leg. Top arm up, open the chest. Again, we're not really putting weight on the hand here, leaning. We're using our side body here. So feet are rooted. Gaze can be up to the side or down. Neck is supported. Connect to your breath. Great. From here, grounding those feet, you're going to use that torso to lift yourself back up. Good. Lower the arms. Turn toward the front leg, bending that knee. Hands come down to frame the foot. Slide your foot back, lift your hips. We'll step back to downward dog one more time. Let's take one more flow. Float into a plank pose. Nice and slow and smooth. Take your time. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Slide into your cobra. Open the chest. Pull the shoulders back. Glue the feet. Good. Release slowly down. Tuck your toes. And we'll meet in our downward dog. Getting there however you like. Same thing as the last side. Start with the opposite foot if you're stepping, and we'll meet in our forward bend. Take your time getting to the front of your mat. Good. We'll roll up slowly. Open the chest. Mountain pose. Great. I'm going to come to the center of the mat. So let's do a brief balance, and then we'll come down to the floor. So let's do the tree. Good. So from the middle of your mat, feet should be hip width apart. And then you're going to shift your weight to one leg. So for balance, fixing your gaze on anything that's not going to move. A notch in the carpet or your tile or something like that. Don't look at a shadow. Shifting your weight, and you can always use the wall if you need. When you're ready, you're going to take the other foot to the sole of the foot to the ankle with the big toe down. You could use that for a little more stability. You could use your calf or your thigh. Please do not use your knee. Even though it's got a nice little round bump there, you don't want to use the knee. You don't want to push it out to the side. Bringing your hands to your heart when you feel ready. And feel that activation toward the midline of the foot and the leg. When you're steady, you can bring your arms up. You can bring your arms out, whatever feels good for you, balancing. Soften your shoulders. Continuing to breathe. See if you can find a little smoothness to the breath and the pose. And every day is different with balance, so if you fall out, don't worry about it. You can always try again. Great. Let's slowly move out. So we'll take the hands back to the chest and release the foot. And then you'll shake it out. And we'll set ourselves up for the second side. So switching the weight to the other leg. And important here too is to micro bend your knee joint. We don't want to lock the leg. So a little softness there that's barely visible. You don't really see it, but you feel it. So it's good to kind of play with that too. Lock the leg, soften the leg. Don't lock the leg. Okay, here we are, nice and tall. When you feel steady, fix your gaze. Connect to your breath. Bringing the foot to the ankle, the calf, or the thigh. Pressing toward the midline, hands come to chest. And when you're steady, send your arms wherever you'd like them. Soften your shoulders. And then we'll smooth the breath. The important thing is to be kind to yourself if you fall out. Don't get frustrated. Just know that's part of the process. Great, and nice and slowly coming back down, hands to chest, and releasing the leg. Good, shake it out a little bit. I'm gonna take my feet a little bit wide here, come down to a squat. So I'm gonna reach my hands out. If you can't squat, that's okay, you can skip this. You might use a blanket for under your heels, that's an option for a little support. And you can even use a block under your hips. So you might use this for your heels, if that feels a little more supportive. I'm gonna squat. So I'm gonna bring my elbows inside of my thighs, my thumbs to my sternum, and open my chest. I'm dropping my tailbone, and I'm extending the crown of my head. So I'm thinking of a nice line of energy from my tail to the crown. And I'm breathing. I'm also pulling my legs in and pressing my elbows out a little bit at the same time to find that length through the spine. Great. And then slowly we're going to come down. So you can use your prop here if you want to sit up on a block or a blanket. That's totally fine. I'm going to sit on the floor because I'm a little more flexible, but feel free to use the prop. And then we're going to take our legs out into a V, and you might look very different than I look. You might be more open or less. We're going to aim our toes to the sky, and then you're going to lift the flesh from your sitting bones so you can find those sitting bones. So you're nice and lifted. Your pelvis should be neutral here. So we don't want to be tipped forward or rounded. So using props so that you're not. And then the legs, don't have to be completely straight. If you're less flexible, that's fine. So we're going to stretch that big QL muscle in the back. So we're going to inhale, take one arm up, and this other arm is going to kind of be inside of your leg. You're going to lift up tall, and then gently slide inside that leg over, up and over. So we don't want to be rounded forward here. We're up and over the leg. So you're kind of reaching to your feet. You may not get very close. That's totally fine. Really getting into the side QL muscle here. So again, that elbow points up. We connect to the breath. If this is too intense or painful, again, don't do it. Just breathing into that muscle. Good. Slowly inhale, lift yourself back up and lower that arm. Good. Let's take the other side. So again, the other hand comes inside the thigh. We're nice and tall. Inhale, lift, the other arm comes up. We soften our shoulder. We slide down the inside of that leg, and the elbow softens and points up to the ceiling, keeping the chest open. Beautiful. Very nice. Keeping your hips nice and grounded. I just noticed my opposite hip was wanting to lift a little. Totally okay to sit up on the prop for this. So one more breath. And slowly inhale, lift. Good, lower the arm. Excellent, bend those knees, bring them in. And then we're gonna turn to face the long edge of the mat. We're gonna come onto our backs again. So let's do the roll one more time, just to relax over that. We'll compare from the beginning and end of class. Hopefully, and I would do the same size. I wouldn't make it bigger, but just do the same size, approximately. And then set yourself up, come back over the roll. Check out where your shoulder blade is. Open the arms, finding the foot position again that's comfortable. Make sure the neck is neutral. touch. Good. Take a deep breath in through your nose and sigh it out through the mouth. So make sure you're totally relaxing over the roll. And then we're going to use this part of our practice to just melt into the floor. Melt into the roll. Make sure the neck is long. Close your eyes. Part your lips so your jaw is relaxed. Connect to your breath. Just relax and let go. So not forcing anything here. We don't even need to think so much about the breath. We just want to let go. Just relax completely. If this is too much, you can not use the roll and just relax on the back. That's fine. Letting the entire body relax completely. So you will stay on the floor. I'm going to come up. We stay relaxing for just another minute. Scan the body. Search for any remaining areas of tension or tightness and just let them go with each out breath. Just relax. Slowly wiggle your fingers and toes. You might rock your head a little side to side. And as you're ready, bend your knees if they're not already bent and roll onto the right side of your body. You're going to slowly push yourself back up to a comfortable seat and use your prop if you need it to sit up on. We'll come back to our easy pose. Sitting nice and tall. So much more open in the chest and the lungs. Hopefully. Good, so when you're ready, we're gonna inhale, sweep the arms up. As we inhale deeply, gather some energy. Feel that energy into your hands at the top and bring them down to your heart. Bow to yourself with gratitude for practicing today. We'll bow to each other. Namaste.